Hello, Steve White, TrekBoy89 for SteveArts89. Well, I just did a couple of videos on how Trump's tariff war on Hollywood could affect the industry in general, but also specifically genre films and franchise productions that, of course, we all love and so forth. And when I was talking about TV, I realized something which I didn't really want to admit, but there may be one silver lining to this giant grey cloud rolling in over Hollywood. This could save Star Trek, because there's three things that could happen, I guess. They keep making Star Trek as they do, and it's just less profitable. Or they shut down the productions with Bad Robot and take Star Trek in-house at Paramount and produce it themselves without, a third party, without, a go-between, taking a cut and taking fees and basically save money by doing it in-house. And we may get a totally new Star Trek produced by different people that may actually resemble Star Trek and actually be a science fiction series that we can actually enjoy. Or the other option is it just becomes too expensive and they just shut down all the productions and go back to what they were doing before New Trek, which was just making money off the licensing and not producing anything. Because when CBS got Paramount, they got given the whole catalogue. They didn't spend any money on making it. It was all made by Paramount. And they just had this free merchandise stream because, all the merchandising from Star Trek, they were getting millions from that. And they didn't have to pay anything because they weren't making any new product. And, the merchandise was selling itself. It was all based on, all the old shows, which people were, going back and watching. So they didn't have to produce new shows to keep the merchandising coming. It was just generating itself. So they could just go back to doing that. And the great thing about that, not only would there be no more New Trek to, hurt the brand, which is basically what it does, because it's not good. And people, just associate that with Star Trek. They see the New Trek shows and think that's what Star Trek is. It doesn't encourage new fans. It doesn't sell media. It just is a negative thing. And if we just lost that and Star Trek was just, they were just focusing on the old Star Trek again, even though we wouldn't get any new content, it would be better for the franchise because, it would just be better for the franchise because you don't have this bad thing, making the whole thing look bad. So, yeah, I just sort of realised that, and I didn't really want to admit it, but there may be one good thing about this whole thing. If it ends New Trek and Star Trek either gets, a new start back at Paramount, or even if it just, goes back to just being, the originals in syndication and that's it, because Star Trek would still be better off. And that's the sad thing about the new shows. They're so damaging to the brand and so negative that Star Trek would be better off having no new productions and just, selling merchandise based on the old shows and the old movies, and it would do better that way than having these new shows making people hate the show. Or, just people who might have been interested in Star Trek see the new Star Trek and, they don't actually become fans. Like, if they started off with the old Star Trek, they would be fans. So, yep. I just had to comment on that and acknowledge that there may be one bright side to all of this. But we'll see, because who knows? There's no way of knowing what's going to happen. Like I said, are they just going to make a more expensive product and stay how they are? Are they going to shut it all down, start all over again? Or are they just going to, closet it and put it away? Who knows? But we'll see in the next 4 years. Because if Trump doesn't stay in power and turn America into a true dictatorship, he at least can do a lot of damage in the next 4 years before he's out. So at least for the next 4 years, it's going to be a mess. But after that, things may be able to be salvaged if he goes out. But there's no way of telling what's going to happen. It's going to be a very bumpy 4 years. But we'll see. Because even right now, we don't even know, is he going to keep these tariffs? Is he going to increase them for people he doesn't like, countries he doesn't like? Is he going to do sweetheart deals for some people and not for others? There's no way he could change it overnight. He could set it up one way and give people tariffs and have it all, worked out with deals for specific people. Then he may just not like them the next day because they said something he didn't like, or he thinks they've gone woke or something, and then he can change it all over again. He's totally unpredictable. So there's no way of knowing what's going to happen in the next 4 years now. But we just have to sit back and see. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of, the tariff situation and how it's going to affect TV productions and how it could save Star Trek, because, how it is at the moment is, bad. And either way, this is going to change what's happening now. Will it be for the better? I don't know.